also think SYNA needs a formal structure. Right now, we don't have a structure. We don't have a constitution. Asanju positions ko na hin. So really, it's like, I'll sabin ke phone pi karan ki tum help karni hai. Okay, and then if people quit, they quit. Asan ko check on tasagun and ke ne you were treasurer. You cannot quit. Choke huninji ka position ko ne. So it's much easier for people to not be responsible. I think SYNA should create a formal structure that is like SANA's structure, because then it will make the transition easier. So eventually when I grow up and I would like to become a SANA LOC member, it should be very similar to the way SYNA was structured. So then it's easier for me and I say, okay, I know what I'm doing. And this is probably something SYNA and the SANA adults can sit down and work on. But as a long-term goal, I would personally like to see these changes in SYNA. SYNA also, I think we should have some form of solidified funding, because this year the adults were great. We would ask and they would give it because they were also committed to making sure that SYNA was amazing. But in the past, we've had problems where we asked for 2,000 and maybe SYNA's been giving 1,000. That's not everyone's fault. It's just, maybe the people planning that year, or they just didn't have enough funds. So maybe, the fundraising night, when we ask for funds for the scholarships and for SYNA, maybe there should be a SYNA portion. So if any of you would like to donate to SYNA, maybe we can have our own funding. So every year, it's not we ask, we say, okay, SYNA has a budget. Here's our budget. Here's what we have to work with.
One comment though, you have more people now than the general body meeting. So, are you happy now?
Sab cooker jo aangul you kha raha hai.
Kha raha hai. Bilkul kha raha hai.
Ji. Ji? The boys are probably sleeping. Some of them are up there, I don't know. Okay, so another issue we've had. What happened? Stand up, Sindhi youth. Okay, so as Becky was saying, we had great communication with Uncle Echaz and Uncle Sohail and Uncle Khalil, but I feel that those are the only 3 uncles that we were able to communicate with. I think SANA and SYNA need to be joined a little more. There's a huge communication gap, and I think that should be a priority. If we need to speak more amongst each other. That's the only way we'll know what you need from us, what we need from you. And that's been the problem the past couple years. Like, a couple years ago, like, we couldn't find who, this was San Francisco, I wasn't sure who the youth leader was or who the youth was or anything like that. So I think networking is important as well. So this year what we did different was we put a lot of focus on social media. That's where all the youth is. So we have a Facebook, we have an Instagram, we have a Twitter, and we have that website. So that is what we plan to use to attract new youth and keep our youth interested, because every year it seems the trend of youth attendance is unpredictable. So that's one of the things that we want to work on. And because of the lack of focus in SYNA, I think from SYNA, since we don't have as many funds, since we can't communicate as much, every year it seems like it's harder and harder to attract interest from SYNA. So one of our main focuses with the networking, with the communication, with everything is to grab the attention, grab the youth, make them want to come. And that's been the focus of our convention this year. And thankfully, I think it's worked well so far.
So basically, what we're asking is just in the future, maybe I think SYNA should be more of a priority in SANA. I think what happens in SANA is great. The scholarships, the medical seminars, all of that. But like one thing worthy of note is every year you guys have a medical seminar. Every year you have a speaker. Every year you have this. Every year you do not have a youth seminar. That is when we say, hey, we want a seminar, then the adults are, yes, let's do it. That's just part of the communication. I think maybe, personally, if you guys like SANA, you want there to be a future, then it should definitely be, hey, we need to hear from the youth every year. Harsak, just keep up. What is happening? What do we need? Like Sabrina said, what do you need from us? Like if you feel like, you guys just take my kids out for fun, you guys should do some volunteer work. Okay, tell us that, and next year we'll plan it. Go ahead.
Also this year we were talking and we feel that it's not just, so this year youth was 13 to 25 and a lot of younger children were left behind. So I think we need a division, an age group, and these younger kids need to start planning for the younger generation, maybe some events in the hotel so they don't feel as left out. Like we went on the SYNA tour yesterday and I feel a lot of underage kids that weren't allowed to go just spent the day in the hotel doing nothing. So what we tried to do this year, but unfortunately we didn't get enough time, was we had the teenagers, high schoolers of the SYNA youth start planning something for the kids in the hotel. So there needs to be a division, it needs to be more organized, and that's it for that.
So before we open up for questions and we will answer, you guys, if you were affected by anything we said, or you like one of us, or we're your kids, or something like that, you should make a pledge to SYNA because you're investing in SANA's future. So make a pledge, Are you pledging?
I'm pledging to give you
I got my first pledge! 1,000, who can write? I'm writing, hold on.
We will hold you to it.
Bucket full of chicken fingers.
Na kapan.
$1,000.
Yes.
Announce the name. Announce the name.
What's your name?
Have the kids write it down. Yes.
I'm not getting.
What was the name?
Humera likho. Humera. Unesa Shah. Now, just remember, they're part of SANA at this point structurally. We don't consider them as a separate organization. So all funds go to SANA, but these are earmarked to Sinai, and we'll make sure these funds help Sinai activities.
So when they write a check to SANA,
SANA.
memo, right?
Yeah, preferably put in your memo that this is for Sinai, SYNA initiative. Thank you.
Yes. What's your name? 200. Talinado? Stop. 100 Sylvia. Sada 200. Sylvia 100 Franco. Uncle Omid. Yes.
Mahmoud, Tori,
Talinado?
Ma, I know you told.
Nasa